Hey team, Matt here. I got something for you to have a think about when you're having your dinner tonight, or maybe having a nice cold one. And some things to have, three things in particular that I really want you to have a really deep think about, because they're really very, very relevant at the moment. So this will come into focus in a second. There we go, happy days. Right, so I'm going to make my picture smaller. How do I make that small? I'm going to make it round. There we go. Perfect, so you can see the whole of the picture. That's cool. So there's a couple of different types of businesses, right? So maybe the first one to ask is, which one are you going to be? So if this is now the time continuum, right? So this is going out. And let's just say that the fallout from COVID-19 finishes about here, okay? I'm not sure when that's going to be, but let's just say it finishes about there, okay? There's going to be a few different types of businesses, and I'm actually seeing this come through in the conversations that I'm having at the moment. There's three types of businesses. So the first one is the business that does absolutely nothing. This is the people who, unfortunately, they're going to come back, they're going to die, and they're going to be out of business. They're doing nothing, and they're going to go. Long term, short term, medium term, either way they're going to go. They're not doing anything about it. They're going to come back. They're going to find that their cafe or restaurant just is not working the way that it used to, and they're going to be done and dusted. So there's a fair chunk of people who are actually like that. Then you got some other people, and we're going to put a nice green. Green. These are the people who are going to do really, really well. In fact, we'll come back to those. We'll get blue. We'll start with blue, shall we? So, and they're going to do okay. And they're doing some things. And they're doing them pretty well. Can't really complain. So they're doing some things, quite well. And they'll probably get through to be there or thereabouts. A lot of you will be thinking, well, that'd be great if that could be me, just to get through to where I was, or to stay in business, or still have a business. So that's really big for a lot of businesses. But there are some. And I'll show you another diagram in a second to show you how many are actually going to be like that. And they're doing this other thing. These are doing the right things. And they're going to do really, really well out of this. They're going to actually start strong whenever this lockdown and the impact of COVID-19 actually subsides. They're going to be doing really, really well because they're doing the right things. And there are some things that you actually need to think about. And the actual ratio, I was looking the other day, and my guess for the ratio is like this. The people who do the right things are going to be the minority, maybe 20%, who will actually grow and thrive through this. And they're going to be doing some things that are already all over it. I'm talking to some amazing businesses who are having incredible results right now because they're all over this. They haven't lied over and played dead. They're actually sitting there going, yep, I'm in this. It's a challenge, but I'm up for the challenge. And so I reckon 20% will be around there. You've also got these other people who will do okay. They'll do some things. And that's probably 40% who will do okay. It'll be fine. They'll be okay. So more than half of the businesses in hospo, cafes, restaurants, bars, all that sort of thing, will probably be okay, or they'll be more or less the same. But that leaves 40%. And 40% down the bottom here are these cats here who are doing nothing. Doing nothing at all. And that's a real tragedy. That's a really, really big tragedy. So there's three things I want to talk to you about. And these three things, the three Ps, it's all about taking your business from where it is to where it needs to be. So I'm going to do three really bad circles. Bear with me. They're not even circles. They are oblongs. There we go. Happy days. So there's three things that we need to focus our energies actually on, right? And they are the three Ps. The first one is to protect. So there's three things that you need to protect, and you need to protect them really, really well, okay? The first thing is you've got to protect your business. What does that mean? That means practically looking after your staff, making sure that you're not going to change too much while you've actually been shut down, or whilst you've had to restrict your training. You've got to protect your business. You've got to make sure that your bills are getting paid, people are paying you, and you're paying your bills, and you can get supply and all that sort of thing. So you've got to make sure that the basics are covered. That's protecting your business, okay? So that's the first thing that you've really got to focus your energies on, and making sure that all of your safety procedures, your health and safety, and all that sort of thing are up to date. So you got to protect your business. The next thing you got to do, and this is really important because as entrepreneurs, we're often really, really bad at that. And this is protect yourself. This is stressful, man. This is so stressful for a lot of people. You've got to take some time out and actually give yourself a break. So you've got to protect yourself. You've got to be looking after yourself, making sure that you're thinking about really, really big issues, really like the high level stuff as well as the day-to-day stuff, and you're actually giving yourself a break. You are going to need a break because at the end of this, we're going to be going head first into a changed world. So we're going to need all the energy we can possibly get. So you've got to look after yourself. The next thing you got to look after is your brand, okay? There are so many businesses now who are doing nothing on social media. They basically just shut up shop, don't want to talk to anyone anymore, and they're not actually doing any sort of connection with their customers, which is a real tragedy. So you've got to protect your brand, you've got to protect your customer base. So that's the first P, right? So you've got to protect that stuff. The second P, and I'm going to use, what am I going to use? Let's go with blue. The next thing you got to do is, and this is, isn't this the catchword of the moment, is you have to pivot. This is pivoting. So what is pivoting? It's been bandied around as a word. I've never heard the word pivot being used quite so much as what I have over the last few weeks. It's really quite incredible. But you've got to pivot. You've got to pivot firstly. You've got to pivot your offer. So what is your offer? It's the food and the delivery. So it may well be that you've got to pivot and go to a delivery or a takeaway or a something offer. But you've got to actually change something about what you did, about from what you did to what you need to do. Interestingly, so the last time an event of this type was hitting a big city was the Christchurch earthquakes in 2000, or just 2011, I think it was. And they did a study, and it was all about the resilience of the best businesses. And they looked at the most resilient businesses and they found out what are the common traits. Well, they had 13 common traits. But interestingly, 60% of those businesses who were thriving after the Christchurch earthquakes made a new offer to market. So they weren't just doing what they always did, they had to make a new offer to market. And I was lucky enough to work with a bunch of businesses through that whole shutdown and literally the crumbling of a city, and after that, the rebuilding of a city. So you've got to look at your product mix and you've got to say, right, are people still going to want that? And you've got to look at how you deliver and how people buy. The next thing you have to look at is your message. Your marketing. How was it done? How was it done previously? Because the way that you did it beforehand won't be the way that you can do it going forward. So you've got to pivot your message to meet the market. Okay, you've got to change whatever it was, which was relevant in a world without COVID-19, to a message that is relevant. Okay, so you've got to pivot your message. The last thing you've got to do is pivot your business model. So in the past, when we have, most cafes, restaurants have one income stream, right? One income stream being people come through my front door, they buy, they sit and eat, or they take away, or whatever. It's one income stream. In a world post-COVID-19, it may well be that you have 3 or 4 different income streams. So you've got to have a model, a business model that's actually reflective of that and understands that your world's changed and your business model has had to change as a result of it. Make sense? I hope so. What's that? That's kind of a red. I'm going to do a red. I'm going to do a green. The third thing I want you to have a really good think about is promoting yourself. So you've got to think about, how am I going to promote my business? What am I going to do? How am I going to get people engaged? Okay. So after you've protected yourself and after you've pivoted your business, you've got to think about, how do I actually promote my business in a world post-COVID-19? So this is about, again, your brand. I'll put in here brand values. So are your brand values still relevant? Is what you used to offer still relevant? Are people actually going to buy that stuff anymore? I hope so. So you've got to promote your brand values. You've got to promote practically every single thing about what you do and the way that you do it, and the fact that you are a community person, and the fact that you are one of us and we're all in this together. So I call it the wider message. Heard some great results from people who are delivering free meals to firemen and to ambulance officers and that sort of thing, and just doing what's right by the community. So we've got to go out there and make sure that we're still relevant to our punters, to our clients. I've heard of a ton of businesses actually doing cooking classes and that sort of stuff online and having amazing results, and actually getting people really juiced up for when they get back and get back online. And I know you've probably seen every food bag company in the country is going absolutely crazy. Well, what about the company that comes along and actually shows you how to cook all that stuff? Because a lot of the home delivery companies that deliver those meals, really, they don't actually show you how to do it. They might give you some instructions. But what about a company that comes along and says, right, go to my food bag, get this, get that, get something else, and I'll show you how to cook it. And there's getting massive levels of engagement, really great engagement with their customers. So promote yourself, promote your business, and promote your food. So those are the three things I want you to think about: protect, pivot, and promote. There's a lot of business out there who will do very little about this. They will be the ones who actually don't do so well at the end of it. This doesn't take a lot to actually do. What you need to do is sit down with your leadership team and your management team and ask, right, what do we need to protect? How can we pivot and meet the market? And what do we need to talk about that's more than just our offer and our business model and that sort of thing? So those are three things that'll help you get going in your planning process and help you think about the way that you can take your business forward. Hopefully that's given you something to think about. If you like it, please like it and share this video, and I will look forward to seeing you soon. Take it easy.